Hello there, my name is Thomas O'Regan and I'm a professional property investor. Over the last 3.5 years, me and my wife have taken $45,000 of cash and turned it into a $4 million property portfolio that generates passive income. Now, I just want to tell you guys today, I see a lot of novice investors make this mistake, and I'm very sorry if you can hear something in the background. There's someone trimming the grass outside. Very sorry about that. Hopefully you don't hear it. We'll see. But back to the point of this video. Be careful where you get your investment advice from, and any advice from that matter. And I know it's ironic, like I'm just a guy on the internet telling you this, but when it comes to investing in real estate, you want to be getting your advice from people that have done just that or are in a position that you want to get to. And they don't need to be like 1,000 or 100 times past where you are. And sometimes if they're that far past where you are, the mentor you choose, they're 100, 1,000 times beyond the point where you are. If you want to be a property investor, for example, and the person that you're getting your advice from has like $100 million net worth or $1 billion net worth, it's kind of like, yeah, you could get good advice from, but it's probably not relevant to you in the situation you're in. If you're trying to get your first, second, or third property, maybe just look for someone that's 10 or 20 times further ahead of the game than you are. Might be a bit more relevant. The lessons they've recently learned will be able to apply to you, not like, okay, so this is how you create $100 million. I'm rambling on a bit, very sorry. But yes, be careful where you get your investment advice. And this topics come up because I mentor a few investors that are trying to build their property portfolio, and sometimes I just see they're taking advice from the wrong people, and it's very confusing if you don't know, because you would think that a person that is a real estate agent would know how to invest in property. You think they would understand what it takes to be a good property investor. The answer to that question is absolutely not. Person is in real estate generally, are there in real estate because they like getting paid a lot of money, a lot of commission, and they like spending it on nice cars. That's generally the majority of them. Some of them, a very small portion of them, do have investment properties and do have a property portfolio. I would definitely be taking advice from those ones, but people, especially real estate agents that are giving you investment advice, I would take that with a grain of salt unless there's something behind them that can prove they know what they're talking about, because there's just a world of difference between an investor and how an investor would look at investment property, and why a property investor would buy an investment property versus why a real estate agent thinks an investor would buy an investment property. A world of difference. Okay. Another one is conveyances. I use conveyances when I'm buying investment properties, to find every pitfall, every issue, everything that could possibly go wrong with the property, in terms of like, is it in a flood zone? What's wrong with the contract? What's going on with the strata report? What costs, what outgoing costs, will I potentially be up for? Now, a conveyancer might see that something's wrong with the property, and they might say this is not a good investment. But again, the reality is, yes, this person may have done hundreds or thousands of transactions in property, but that does not mean, and as sad as it is, does not mean that they know what a good investment property is. And you're probably thinking, of course they do. No, they don't. Unless they have investment properties of their own, they won't understand. Like someone that is a conveyancer that just has like his own home that he lives in, it's completely different knowledge base than someone that is an actual investor. The reasons you buy the property, everything is completely different. And I think the best example I have of this to share with you guys today is, okay, I guess if you go into a restaurant and you're getting served, and there's a waitress and there's the chef. It's like the investor is the chef and the conveyancer is the waitress, okay? So do you think a waitress knows how to cook the food as good as a chef, or prep his mise en place as good as a chef, or run a restaurant service as good as a chef? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's complete. Yes, they are working together every single day. They're almost doing the same things. You know, they're around food every single day. They're working in the hospitality industry every single day. But no, the waitress most likely does not have any idea how to cook the recipes or act in the kitchen as a chef to get the job done. It's exactly the same as a real estate agent, an investor, and a conveyancer. They're all in the same industry, they're working together, but it's just different skill sets. So, guys, what I'm trying to stress here today is watch where you get your investment advice. Like real estate agents that don't have any investments, take everything they say with a grain of salt. Yes, you need to get important information from them as an investor, but when they cross the line and start going into investment advice, unless they have something backing them like an investment portfolio, just take it with a grain of salt, honestly. Again, same story with the conveyances. You want them to tell you everything that's wrong with the property, but just because there's things wrong with the property that they perceive an issue doesn't mean as an investor they are an issue. Look, every problem is an opportunity for an investor. It's just, if there's issues with the property, you can be compensated in the deal to get a deal done that can work out to be very lucrative for you. Generally, where the money is made in real estate where the money is made in real estate is where all the problems are. You, as an investor, working through those problems, turning a problem into a solution in the form of real estate is how professional property investors generally make their money. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye.